What is going on, Internet? Hail to the Redskins. This is JD coming at you with Redskin Rant. This video will be about the Dallas Cowboy game, and I am really just, I've actually done this video twice now. This is the third time I'm doing it. The reason why I'm doing it 3 times is because every time I do it, there's some more information that kind of fuels the fire that I'm making when it comes to Kirk Cousins, gets sent out there. So I remake the video, and I add in the information. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of clear up what I was talking about last week. There was an article that came out on USA Today, okay, written by professionals. Now here's the narrative. I'm going to push it back one step. There are people who will do this for a living. Will do this for a living, and will say things about Kirk Cousins that agree with me, and apparently they are stupid because it does not agree with these emotional douchebags who just love Kirk Cousins so much that they can't just have an objective opinion. Okay? I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. I hate how he plays, hate his style of play, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be a quarterback, but I think we give him a pass anytime he doesn't succeed. And that's where my issue with him is. Is he perfect? No quarterback's perfect. But he should find easy guys open. He should be able to read a defense, stuff like that. He should be able to anticipate a blitz and check down out of it, or not check down, audible out of it. Okay, so I'm going to read this article real quick to you. This article has 4 categories in which they're grading the quarterback situation on, as in what's around the quarterback. Pass blocking is 1. Plays made is the number of accurate throws to a receiver that are caught. Okay. Chains is how often the QB's team keeps him ahead of chains or out of passing situations. And scheme is how often guys are catch the ball and how many yak yards they get, and how much distance between them and a defender there is. So your scheme gets you open. Okay. So then you got total, and that's the total grade you get. Okay. So pass blocking, Redskins are number 9th in pass blocking. Okay. We have a pretty solid offensive line even this week, and I'm gonna talk about this for 2 seconds. I'm sick and tired of the narrative and the arguments and the complaints about everything around Kirk Cousins, and everything's everyone's fault except for Kirk Cousins. He's a quarterback. If the Patriots don't win, it's because of Tom Brady. It's that simple. We have a $24 million quarterback, and we don't win, and everyone wants to blame everyone but that quarterback. However, the professionals and the experts say that everything around him is fine and that Kirk Cousins is the problem. I'll get to that here in a minute. Okay. So, offensive line, good. Even this week, I thought it was good. For having 3 subs in, 3 backups in, whatever you want to call it. Kirk Cousins dropped back 44 times, got sacked 4 times, and ran for once, and got rid of the ball 39 times. That's pretty darn good, man. You drop back 44 times, you're able to throw 39 times. That's pretty darn good. Just saying. This is only pass blocking, by the way, not run blocking. Only pass blocking. Plays made is number 6. And you can say what you want. Everyone and their mother is a narrative going around that he has no receiving core. It's emotion. You are talking on sheer emotion, people. Give me statistics that prove how bad his receiving core is. Because I have a statistic right here that says on throws thrown to the receivers that are catchable, they are 6th in the league in catchable balls. And when the balls are thrown and they are able to catch it, they catch it. 6th in the league. Okay? Quit talking with emotion, and you better get some stats to back it up. I don't even respond to people online anymore. Because everyone's just like, oh, what about this? I'm like, give me a stat. Give me something to back up your opinion other than I'm an emotional guy and I love Kirk Cousins, so everything has to be everyone's fault but his. Scheme. Number 1 in scheme. Number 1 in scheme, as in we get guys open in yak yards. Kirk Cousins has the most yak yards in the league right now. Yards after catch, if you don't know what yak yards is. So we're number 1 in the league in scheme. And number 13 in scheme is chains. We're not very good at staying ahead of the sticks. He's part of the problem with that, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So overall, Redskins have the number 1 situation for quarterback. So what that tells me is it's not that Kirk Cousins is the problem. The problem is Kirk Cousins. Because what is around him is good enough that he should do better. Considering all the other good teams in the league are on this list. Pittsburgh is number 2. Green Bay Packers, number 2. New Orleans Saints. Kansas City. Even Jacksonville's doing well this year. That's why they're on this list. Atlanta. New England. Rams, so on and so forth. I'll put a link in here if you guys want to read it. And if you scroll down this, what it does, it breaks every quarterback into a tier. Tier 1's Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers is in that too, but he's injured. Alex Smith, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, Ben Roethlisberger, all tier 2. Okay, tier 3 is Kirk Cousins. Tier 3 is Kirk Cousins. This is what it says about Kirk Cousins. Cousins has number 2 quality, but as we covered in the intro, he has a supporting cast that props him up. Now, this is USA Today. Okay, now I understand that they're not exactly all about football, so I'll give someone a little bit of maybe leeway that maybe they don't know 100% what they're talking about, but listen to that terminology. Now I'm going to go to another article. Okay, so hopefully that clears up that article. Okay, now let's go to another article. An article that was released yesterday. It is on NFL.com. It is the midseason QB index. Okay. And what it is it ranks quarterbacks from 1 through like 32, I guess is all the starters. And Kirk Cousins is sitting down here. Let's see who's ahead of him. Number 1 is, I'll just go ahead and go for it. Number 1 is Tom Brady. Number 2 is Russell Wilson. 3, Alex Smith. Carson Wentz is 4. Drew Brees is 5. Dak Prescott is number 6. Number 7 is Tyrod Taylor. Number 8 is Deshaun Watson. Number 9 is Matt Ryan. Number 10 is Marcus Mariota. Number 11 is Ben Roethlisberger. Number 12 is Cam Newton. The fact that Cam Newton's ranked ahead of him is freaking atrocious to me. Matt Stafford's number 13. Number 15 is Phillip Rivers. And number 16 is good old Kirk Cousins, who's just ahead of Jared Goff. Okay? Just ahead of Jared Goff. And this is what it says. Cousins is a solid NFL quarterback whose yardage is inflated by a lot of screen passes yards after catch. He's largely a function of the players around him, making him a median ranking sensible. So the experts on NFL.com are saying that Kirk Cousins is a product of what's around him. And yet every emotional little bitch who is a Kirk Cousins fan wants to be like, oh no, Kirk Cousins is this, he's this, and everyone else is the problem. It's not the problem. The experts say he's not the problem. Experts say that everyone else isn't the problem and say Kirk Cousins is the problem. Well, listen to Chris Cole's game film breakdown. Listen to Chris Cole's film breakdown. He broke down how Kirk doesn't read the ball, read the defense very well. He agrees with, he's been agreeing with what I've said the entire season. Okay? So now, and I'm going to give one more article that I just found the other day on my phone. I think it was after the Cowboys game. I found this article. I think it was after the Cowboys game. By the way, Cowboys beat us 33-19. Our offense couldn't score. I don't know how everyone's going to accuse of Kirk Cousins not being a problem when I'm going to break this down. Our first 4 possessions were scoring drives. So I'll get to that here in a minute. I'll just get to that here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get through all these articles, and then I'll talk about the game and Kirk Cousins' performance and all of his stupid fans. Okay? So give me 1 second. Okay. This is from Jay Gruden, and he was asked in an interview, basically was asked, like, what do you think Kirk Cousins, what is Kirk Cousins' weakness if he has one? Well, if he does have a weakness, it is that he is too much of a perfectionist, Gruden says. He wants everything to be perfect. Unfortunately, I can't get guys 30 yards open all the time. There are going to be some tight windows that he needs to throw in, but he's going to have to throw some days. I call some of these in practice, and if it doesn't look exactly the way I drew it up, he'll say, I don't know if I like that. I can't call it in a game. And I'm like, but come on. And that's basically what he's saying is his quarterback, what that tells me is guys are open, but they're not as open as Kirk Cousins may like. So he doesn't throw the ball. That's exactly what that says. That's exactly what that tells me. That guys are open, but not as open as Kirk would like it because it's not a safe throw. And he's afraid to throw a turnover. That's what I think. It's a fearful quarterback. So basically we've turned Kirk Cousins into a guy who gets 4,200 passing yards, 4,900 passing yards, into a guy who now he's a game manager who won't throw pass unless they're 100% guaranteed it's not going to be picked off. So that being said, those are the articles, and I'm going to get into Kirk Cousins right now. Kirk Cousins deserves, I usually give blame for every game, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Kirk Cousins because I'm tired of the hoopla online, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Kirk Cousins fans, first off, Kirk Cousins fans have it both ways. They really do. They are allowed to sit there and claim that Kirk Cousins, claim every excuse in the book. Every excuse in the book. Apparently all year he hasn't had an offensive line. However, the last 3 seasons he's been sacked less than 30 times all year. That's less than 2 a game. Okay? So he's always had a good offensive line, but they'll claim he's never had one. Okay? They will also claim that he has no receivers. However, he is on pace this year so far to get not quite what he got last year yardage-wise, but he's going to get about 4,700 passing yards or 4,600 passing yards. Okay, he's going to get that. He's at 1,900 right now. They also claim that he doesn't have any receivers. However, Kirk Cousins has a 68% completion percentage, which means that his receivers have that or higher, which means they have a catching percentage of 78% or higher. Now, if you don't know what that means, if Kirk Cousins throws the ball 100 times and it's caught 68 times, let's just say, use a solid number, 68 times, and let's say all of them are accurate, that means that the receivers are catching the ball at a 68% percentage. However, that is actually false. It's actually higher than that, and here's why it's higher. You're not factoring in when Kirk throws the ball away. You're not factoring in when Kirk overthrows deep balls. Those aren't drops. Okay? I'll give an example. Kirk right now is 5 of 22 on passes over 20 yards. That go 20 yards through the air. And you can go watch the Eagle game. You can watch every game. When Kirk throws a deep ball, okay? When Kirk throws a deep ball, it is not dropped. It was one drop, and that was this Sunday's game against the Cowboys. If it's not dropped, they're overthrown or they're thrown out of bounds. That's it. First game of the year. First play of the season. Terrell Pryor's open down the middle. Kirk Cousins overthrows about 7 yards. He does it 4 times in that game. 4 or 5 times in that game. So overthrows guys that are open deep. Okay? He doesn't throw an accurate deep ball. Okay, so right there, they have a higher catching percentage than Kirk Cousins has a completion percentage. I don't think people really grasp that concept. They have a higher percentage of catching balls thrown to them that are accurate than he has of a completion percentage. I don't think people really understand that. Okay? Kirk Cousins right now is 161 for, let me just make sure I get this 100% accurate here. 161 for, I believe, like 212 or something like that. Let me just make sure. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, Kirk Cousins this year, at this moment in time, is 161 for 237. That is a 67.9% completion percentage. He has 1,900 yards. He's averaging 8 yards a pass. He's averaging 13. He has 13 touchdowns. He has 4 interceptions. 16. He's been sacked 16 times, which honestly is on pace to be higher than he's been sacked in a long time. But it's kind of skewed a little bit. Again, you had 3 offensive linemen out this league. He got sacked 4 times and still got off 39 passes. Okay, and he wasn't under duress either. And 3 of those sacks, I'm going to throw this out there, are his fault. He held the ball too long. He had a touchdown pass on one. One I thought was a turning point in the game because he got sacked. Our kicker got put in a bad spot to kick the football and he got blocked, and that was a turning point in the game. That's my personal opinion, but you can believe whatever you want. His passer rating is 103.3, and people were jerking off to that. Passer rating means nothing. Passer rating takes no into account. RG3 had a good passer rating. You want to know why? The team would be down, and he'd just throw and complete a bunch of passes and jack up his completion percentage, and he'd get a touchdown later or something. Your passer rating does do no. QBR is what matters. QBR is taking into account of when the game's close, how good are you? That's basically what it is. It doesn't show it on here. You gotta go to Pro Football Focus to figure that out. I'm not going to do that. Kirk has 121 rushing yards. Not that big a deal. He has 3 fumbles for losses. So right now, and he has 1 rushing touchdown. So right now, Kirk has 14 touchdowns and 7 turnovers. Not horrible, but not bad. Okay, at this pace. Okay, so let's say, for example, Kirk, right now, I'm going to just do the math right now, right in front of you. Kirk has 14 touchdowns. And he's had those the last 7 games. So at this point, at this pace, 14 touchdowns, that means he's going to end up with 32 touchdowns this season. And the way I did that was right now he has 14 touchdowns. We've had 7 games, so divided by 7, that gives you 2. Then you times that by 16 games. 32 touchdowns. Last year, Kirk Cousins got 24 touchdowns. So Kirk Cousins right now is on pace to have more touchdowns than he did last year, but his receivers are the problem. That makes sense. So let me go even a step further with this. He has 1,900 passing yards, okay, and 121 rushing yards so far. Okay, so he has 2,021 overall yards. Okay, divide that by 7, and then I times that by 16. Kirk Cousins is on pace to get 4,600 passing yards. And losing Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson are that big a deal? You're freaking kidding me. The reason we had to lose Pierre Garçon, everyone just complained about the wide receivers. Kirk Cousins is on pace to do 300 yards less than he did last year. But he's going to have 6 or 8 more touchdowns. 7. I'm sorry, he had 25 touchdowns last year. He's going to have 7 more touchdowns. 7 more touchdowns. You had 7 touchdowns to any game, to all the games we played last year. And imagine what our record would have been. I'll go through both Dallas games. The last game against the Giants. The Detroit game. Our overtime game we had against the Bengals. And our Cardinals game. That's 6 games. If he had a touchdown to it, we'd have won. Okay? So Kirk Cousins is on pace to do better this year than he did last year in touchdowns, which touchdowns are more important to me. Okay? So let's actually continue this and see. Kirk Cousins is going to actually have more turnovers this year too. So just throw that out there. He's going to have more turnovers. But Kirk is on pace to do better than he did last year. Now everyone jerks off to the yards. Yards don't mean shit. Sorry. Yards don't mean crap. They don't mean shit to me. Piss on yards. I don't care about yards. People need to actually watch the game of football. Not just don't watch the game. Watch the game of football. When you watch the TV, everyone watches the ball. Everyone just stares at the football. And if Kirk doesn't throw the ball to someone, apparently no one's open. That's what they believe. That's what people believe. This is how asinine people are. It is more likely to people. I'm just noticing this is more like this is how Kirk Cousins fans think. It is more likely to people that 10 guys are screwing up and Kirk Cousins is infallible and he's perfect and he doesn't do anything wrong. It is more likely to them that 10 guys, as in our 5 wide receivers, our 2 tight ends, and our 3 running backs, our 3 running backs. It's more likely to them that all 10 of our weapons cannot get open than Kirk Cousins is screwing up. It's more likely that 10 guys are screwing up rather than 1 guy. The odds that 10 guys are screwing up and 1 guy is infallible is ridiculous. Especially now 1 guy is a quarterback and he can actually dictate and change things. A wide receiver can't change his route. Okay? You can't change those things. It is ridiculous to say that the whole receiving corps and all the running backs and all the tight ends are at fault. It's even more ridiculous to say that shit whenever he's got 1,900 freaking passing yards. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous that people want to believe that. Let me ask you, is it more likely that Kirk Cousins can't find guys open? Based on the article I just read you, okay, and the other things I've read, what is more likely? Is it more likely that 10 guys, as in all the receivers, all the tight ends, all the running backs are screwing up, and the offensive line sucks? Is it more likely that all those guys are fucking up? Or is it more likely that Kirk Cousins is not doing his job properly? I believe it's Kirk Cousins not doing his job properly. The offensive line has been very good this year. They get less than 2 sacks a game. Okay, right now it's a little bit higher, and the reason why it's a little bit higher than that is because they've had 2 games with 4 sacks. The first game of the season with Eagles, okay, and then last Sunday night against Cowboys, which I really don't think that makeshift offensive line did that bad. Other than run blocking, they didn't do great at run blocking, but they protected Kurt and gave him a chance. Now, so I have to address that because Kirk Cousins fans want it both ways. They want to be able to claim that Kirk Cousins is great, but we need the two really good receivers to make sure he's great. But we have Kirk Cousins. Yeah, but we need good receivers. But you have Kirk Cousins. So either you need good receivers and Kirk Cousins is only as good as the talent around him, okay, just like the articles have been saying, or, Kirk Cousins, either he's supposed to be that good, he's supposed to make everyone around him better, or he's only as good as the talent around him. So which one is it? That's what people don't understand. Which one is it? Especially whenever numbers come out that they have the 6th best catching percentage in the league of all receiving corps. Of all skill positions, as in receiver, running back, tight end, of all skill positions, they are 6th best in the league. God, people are stupid. And everyone wants to give emotional responses like, oh, we don't have an offensive line. We've had an offensive line. We do. He was protecting his Cowboys. He was protected. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, receiving core. I've debunked your theory. How does a quarterback have 1,900 passing yards, 161 completions, 67.9% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns passing the ball, okay, 13 passing touchdowns, and the quarterback has no receiving core? How he's 5th in the league, I think he's 5th in the league in passing, 5th or 6th. He's top 5 in the league in passing right now, passing yards. How is he that without any fucking receiving core? That's a stupid goddamn statement. I'm sorry. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. You think Kirk Cousins doesn't have receiving cores yet? That's like saying Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a receiving core. That's like saying Drew Brees doesn't have a receiving core when he's throwing for 5,000 fucking yards. That's how stupid that statement is. And then everyone wants to blame the defense. The defense, this is another thing that they want to do. They think it's okay that they're allowed to use the excuse that Kirk Cousins has, they're allowed to have an excuse that when Kirk Cousins has a bad offensive line, he's going to have a bad game. But the defense does not have an excuse whenever they have 4 starters out and 4 backups out that they can't have a bad defensive game. Okay? It's very frustrating. I'm sorry. I've been reading this crap all week, and people, I don't even respond to them anymore. I usually do, and I give them statistics, and I had a guy yesterday say, I don't believe it unless you show me. I'm like, then shut the fuck up. Don't talk about it unless you want to know the statistics, or you want to actually know the material you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Seriously. I'm not trying to be rude to anyone who's watching this video. But if someone is sitting there and giving you stats, you have one of 2 options. You can believe the stats, you cannot believe the stats, or you can go look them up to verify the stats. Okay? It is not up to me to prove to anyone. It's not up to me to do that. Okay? I'll put the articles that I talked about in here, in the link. But it is not up to me to prove anything to you guys. I do all the work that I have, and I'm going to have my integrity questioned because someone else, it doesn't fit their nice little safe zone bubble mentality. I don't know how else to put that. Because it hurts your feelings, I have to prove it. No, I don't. I look it up. It's fact. You don't believe me? I'll tell you where to get everything. Go to ProFootballReference.com. You look up all the stats I've talked about in the past about the Redskins and their Kirk Cousins red zone percentage, stuff like that. So that's one thing you can do. You can go to NFL.com, go to every game, go to Next Gen Stats, and look at how many passes he's thrown for over 20 yards. It states it, and I will say there's one game where one is like an 18-yard touchdown. It doesn't count. It's only 18 yards. I don't know why it's counted in this, but it's only 18 yards. Okay, so you can go through and count them all. That's what I did. That's all I do. I go through and count them. Like, okay, how many? Okay, that's 5. Okay, he's completed 5 passes over 20 yards. Great, good for him. I guess I don't know that I've thrown through the air. And I kind of like, okay, how many times he attempted it? Wow, 22. Oh, it's 22.7%. That's not very good. That's how I got the stat. That's where the stat comes from. That's how you get stats. You can either they do it for you, you can do it manually. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you Kurt's red zone numbers right now while I have it up. So just give me one moment. Kirk Cousins, okay. Kirk Cousins this year, that's actually last year. Give me one second. Actually, he's not doing bad this year. My narrative about last year, about how bad the team was because of his completion percentage. He has 63% completion percentage with 9 touchdowns in the red zone. That's extremely good. Okay? I'll go through here in a little bit about things that are bothering me about Kirk Cousins in the red zone. But as of right now, he's doing pretty good. 9 touchdowns in the red zone is not bad numbers at all. 9 touchdowns, 1 interception this year. And in goal to go, which is 10 innings, he's got 5 touchdowns. So he's not doing bad. Okay, that's not bad. I'll give him credit where he has credit. I'll give him when he has a good game. I'll give him a good game. Okay, but here's where I'm gonna rip into Kirk Cousins now, because of the game, based on the game. First off, Kirk Cousins, I don't think this is the issues I have with Kirk Cousins. He doesn't read a defense. I don't think he reads the defense whatsoever. And what do I mean by read the defense? He doesn't look at the defense when they do something. Like, for example, I don't think he goes through progressions really well. I think he automatically looks at one route, and if he doesn't have it, he goes to check down immediately. And when I say he doesn't have it based on his standards, not based on Jay Gruden's standard. Jay Gruden wants him to throw the ball. Okay? Got to trust your receivers a little bit, Kirk. All right? Second, I don't think he's a leader. I don't think he's a leader. I think he comes off the field. If he throws an interception, just like, oh, shucks. He has a Eli Manning, darn tootin' shoot attitude I can't stand. And I just don't think he's a good leader. The other thing is he held our franchise hostage. He's holding our franchise hostage. We can't move forward with a consistent quarterback because this guy won't freaking commit. And we're going to be without a quarterback this summer. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't want Kirk to be our quarterback. I'm just tired of everyone making excuses for the guy. That's where my issue comes in. It has nothing to do with him personally. It's excuses for the guy. When he doesn't do well, when RG3 didn't do well, we ripped into him. We ripped him a new asshole. We did. We ripped him a new one. He wasn't allowed to blame running back, the wide receivers, the offensive line, the defense. Kirk Cousins is allowed to have that luxury for some reason. Why is he allowed to have the luxury? What I've proven, if you look at the first article I showed you, is that Kirk Cousins has the best opportunity around him that any quarterback's had in the Redskins in a long time. That's what that proves to me. That is exactly what that proves. If we had better situations for other quarterbacks, we might have been successful. I think Jason Campbell actually was a pretty good quarterback. I do not think the system we had fit his playing style. Scheme is very important in the NFL. Basketball is different. If you're a point guard, you got to be able to handle the ball. You got to be able to handle the ball. You got to be able to play defense. You got to be fast. You got to be able to not be able to shoot, but you can be a scoring point guard or a passing point guard. There's both flexibilities, but any scheme could pretty much fit you in there as long as someone can penetrate and stuff like that off. Football is not like that. Football, a scheme is a big deal. You have West Coast quarterbacks that are precision, like Tom Brady is one of those. Then you have quarterbacks that they're gonna wait and they're gonna try to pick you deep because they run and they do so much stuff short game that they set you up and they get a deep ball like Cam Newton was like that a couple years ago. So scheme is very important in the NFL. Some quarterbacks do better in shotgun. Some quarterbacks do better under center. Stuff like that. It's things like that that matter in football. And what I think is Kirk Cousins has one of the better schemes. He has one of the better array of talent. And again, everyone's going to say, oh, he doesn't have any talent. These receivers can't catch. Yes, they can. They can catch 1,900 freaking yards. They can catch the ball. I'm tired of hearing this bitchy narrative. Gosh. I'm really sick of hearing it. 1,900 passing yards. 1,900. Okay? He's top 5 in the league in passing yards. He's got 13 touchdowns so far. That's not bad. I'm not ripping on that stuff. What I'm saying is he could be better. I think he should have about 2,200. He should lead the league in passing, personally. Should have about 80% completion percentage, for God's sakes. If you go through the plays that if I could go through game film and show you where Kirk missed plays, I could show you where he could do better. I had a video, and I'm so mad at YouTube for not letting me post it because NFL flagged it for being copyright infringement. It was game 1 where he missed probably a good 8 to 9 balls easily. That could have been big yards, could have maintained drives, some could have been touchdowns. Okay, and we should be running away with some teams. But if you look at where we have our mistakes, there's a difference between playing good and just the other team's better than you. The other thing is when you play just good enough to play okay and look good, but not good enough to win. That's what Kirk Cousins is good at. Okay, he's good enough to play to the point where everyone will look at him like, okay, yeah, he didn't have the greatest game, but he didn't have a bad game. So therefore, since he didn't have a bad game, it wasn't his fault. No, you can still have a good game and still lose. Okay, you can still have a good game and still be the reason your team loses because you can have a better game. Okay, for example, last week against the Eagles, 30 of 40. Guess what? What if I told you he could have been 35 for 40 with another 100 yards and another touchdown? That game has a little different light, doesn't it? We control the clock more. It's a completely different game. All there is to it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Dallas. Now that I've beat Kirk Cousins into the ground, I'm going to talk about Dallas. I'm going to talk about things in the game of Dallas and the game. Cousins gets 25% of blame. And the reason why he gets 25% of blame, because first off, he's a quarterback. And he needs to learn to change plays. Especially if you have a rookie offensive line, you need to be able to change hot routes and stuff, especially if the team is showing blitz. They showed a lot of blitz, and they blitzed a decent amount, and it didn't seem like Kirk was prepared for it. It honestly looks like he's never prepared for a blitz. Looks like he's always like a deer in headlights. This is what it always looks like whenever a team gives him a casino blitz, which is like an all-out blitz. Never seems like he's prepared for it. He doesn't have a hot route ready. He had one against the Eagles where they casino blitzed, and he overthrew Jamison Crowder for first down in the red zone, and it cost us the game. So those happen, okay? it just looks like he's never prepared. He was 26 of 39. That is a 66.9 or 66.66667%. And people claim his receivers can't catch a football. That's a 2/3 of 2 out of every 3 balls thrown are caught. I get that they dropped some. I'm not going to argue that after Sunday that passes weren't dropped, but Kirk Cousins did have some bad. I'll give you an example. First series of the game, our first series, first play of the game was fumbled. Okay, a kickoff, and then the first run by Ezekiel at fumble. We get the ball in the red zone. 2 plays go by. It's 3rd and 6. We went a 5-yard in route, and Kirk throws it to him, and he gets tackled, and we had to kick a field goal. Why are you throwing the ball short of the first down? Why are you throwing the ball short of first down? Why aren't you? If it's a play call, that's on you, Kirk. You tell him, hey, go 6 yards, get a first down, go to the first down marker, and then do your in route. Do something. Be a leader, for God's sakes. Tell him, go dismount, turn in. Then we'll have a first down. We'll move the sticks. Okay, you just don't do it. You just like, okay, I'll take the thing that makes me look good because it's not my fault once the guy catches the ball and he can't run for a first down. Okay, I know it's not. I guarantee it's probably not his mindset, but it really seems like that when you're watching. And he's very passive. He's very conservative, and he wants to take the easy, pussy ass shit that all the time. And it pisses me off. Take the throw that gets us the first down to move the sticks. More often than not, Kirk will throw the ball short of the first down and just hope the guy runs for it. We hadn't have good enough athletes that last year and even this year that it's happened a decent amount. Okay, so that's first series, kick a field goal, we're up 3-0. Dallas comes down, bang, 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 comes downfield, they kick a field goal, we're tied. Okay, then we come down, march down the field. Kirk gets a bomb deep. It was not lucky. He threw a good deep ball. I'm not going to take that away from him. And we ran the ball in for a touchdown. Okay, he didn't throw anything. He ran the ball in. Okay, so now we're up 10-3. They have a series. They miss a field goal, we force the 3-and-out, whatever. They kick it. We have the ball. We march down the field again. Bang, 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 bang. Throwing to receivers that can't catch, by the way. Bang, 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 bang. It's a 3rd and like 7, or a 3rd and like 5, and Kirk has Terrell Pryor wide open. Wide open. No one's near him. Right past the first down marker. Throws it. Sails on it. The ball's thrown high. Pryor has to jump to the apex and the peak of his jump to get it, and he ends up landing out of bounds because Kirk can't hit him in the freaking numbers. Kick a field goal. Okay, so there's 2 possessions where Kirk intentionally does not go for the first down. Okay, kick a field goal. Now we're up 13-3. They get a 3-and-out, bang, 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 or they get a field goal. I'm sorry, they get another field goal. So now it's 13-6. We drive the length of the field, bang, 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 bang. We're at like a 3rd, and I think it's like a 3rd and 9. And well, first off, Kirk missed somebody wide open. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm getting to the 3rd down because we were like, I think we were 4 of 13 for 3rd down conversions in this game. So it's 3rd down, and Jamison Crowder runs down the field. He does a flag and then a post wide open. Kirk doesn't throw it. Now, granted, in this play, Kirk was a little bit under duress, but he's under duress because he had his 4 seconds to get rid of the ball. He didn't, so he's scrambling around, and rather than getting rid of the football, he gets himself sacked for about like 6 or 8 yards. Okay, I think he was trying to run. I honestly think he was trying to run. Now, here's why this is an issue. If he would have thrown the ball away, the kicker would have been closer, and I think the way that they described it is where the ball was set was very mushy. Okay, if it had been up earlier or closer to the line, it would have been better. Okay, I'm just going off what was said, and we get the kick blocked. Get the kick blocked, and that was turn. That sack really was a turning point in the game because that sack put the kicker in a longer kick, on a mushy field, and he could not get underneath it. And they block it, and they run it back to like the 5-yard line. They score a touchdown. So here's where the issue I have with our Kirk and the offense. We had the ball 4 times. 4 times. In 4 possessions, we came away with 13 points. 13 points. We were averaging 3.25 points per possession. That's what that is. We have an NFL team with a quarterback who's supposed to be a star, and I would say he has, I wouldn't say elite. He has good talent around him. even though people want to make excuses for him. He has good talent around him, and he comes away with 13 points, or 3.25 points per possession. In my opinion, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. That's what irks me. And I had some smart ass online say, "What would Dak Prescott do?" Okay, we have a better defense than the Cowboys have. That's the first thing. We have a way better defense than the Cowboys have. If Cowboys had our defense, they'd probably be undefeated right now. Just throwing that out there. So that's what Kirk did the first 4 possessions, and then he did nothing for 3 straight possessions, until midway through the third. Throw short then I think the next possession he fumbled the ball. He fumbled the freaking football. I'll get into that a little bit later. There's another fumble in there I'll get into. But he fumbled the ball. So there's a turnover. So now we have a chance to go answer back, and there's a turnover. I'll answer that now. I'm sorry. The next possession was not Kirk fumbling the ball. The next possession was actually Jamison Crowder fumbling the football. Jamison Crowder, after the kickoff return, he kicked on the kickoff return. He fumbled on the kickoff return, and they recovered. They get another field goal. So now they're up. And everyone says our defense got 33 points. Okay, when there's a pick 6 at the end of a game, that adds 7 points right there. Okay, and if you're fumbling twice in the red zone, your defense holds in the field goals. That's a pretty good job by the defense. So right there is 13 points that their defense gave up that are on the board because of our offense. Our offense had a pick 6. That's 7 points. Okay, and 2 field goals that are a result of a fumble and a fumble recovery, or 2 fumble recoveries in not prime location, but pretty close to the goal. Okay, one might have been a touchdown. I have to go look that up, but one might have been a touchdown. But as of right now, it's 13. Okay, so right there's 13 points. Take 13 points off the game, we're losing 20-19. I mean, come on. People just need not be stupid. Okay, and then Kirk, the only reason we even had 19 points, we should have nothing in the second half. We are a horrible second half team, and I blame Kirk for this. He gets very conservative once he gets up by a couple points. We've had a lead in every game, by the way. We've blown a lead in every fucking game. Okay, I'm going to cuss now because I'm starting to get irritated with the team and what people think is a problem with the team. When you blow a lead in every game, that's because the offense can't continue to score. And everyone will blame the defense. The defense has been injured. Defense has been severely injured. Some key players. You have the best corner in the league gets injured. Our defense suffers. Okay? And I'll get to the defense here in a little bit. But back to Kirk Cousins. So one of the last drives of the game. First off, last drive of the game, he had 4 miracle plays. And when I say miracle plays that were the only reason that we got a touchdown late. So that's the only reason why Kirk Cousins has 1 passing touchdown in this game. Is because of this. Okay? He throws, it's 4th and 5. He throws a check down to Chris Thompson. And Chris Thompson shakes a tackle from a linebacker. They had him, and he shook a tackle, and he happened to get scat for another 3 or 4 yards and got a first down. Lucky play number 1. Lucky play number 2, Kirk Cousins throws it right into the defensive hands. They can't catch it because the ball's wet. Lucky number 2. Lucky number 3, 2 plays later. 2 plays after that. It's thrown behind a defender, or it's thrown right to a defender again. Defender can't come up with it. So in 4 passes, Kirk should have had 2 interceptions. Okay, he does it all the time, but it's never been an issue. It doesn't really stand out unless you watch something. Okay, here's an example. Was it against the Eagles? 49ers. 49ers, we had back-to-back interceptions. Interception, dropped, next play interception. What is the point in that, Kirk? What is the point in that? Seriously, you that bad? You're I screwed up that interception. Let me get another one. Seriously, it's bad. And then the only reason we got a touchdown is because of a lucky. And I say lucky because it was a no call to me. I was like, that's not going to be called. And then a flag comes up. We got lucky. On a pass interference on the 1 yard line. Pass interference at the 1 yard line. It was BS. To me, it's BS. It was BS. But we got the call, and then why we throw the ball to Josh Dawson, I don't know. He caught 1 pass in this game. It was a 1 yard pass for a touchdown. Why you don't throw the ball to James Crowder? Why don't you throw the ball to Ryan Grant and Chris Thompson? Guys that are actually catching that are actually producing. Why don't you throw the ball to them? Instead, you throw the ball to Josh fucking Dobson. Drop touchdown pass against Chiefs. Would have put us at 4-1, start the season, or 3-1. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Kirk Cousins didn't play well in this game. Okay, he didn't. There were drops. I'm gonna concede there were drops. That's 25% of the blame also goes to receivers. I'll get to that in a minute. But Kirk Cousins also wasn't very accurate. He threw some bad passes, and everyone thinks, well, oh, because some guys dropped it, that null and voids Kirk Cousins' mistakes. No, it doesn't. Kirk Cousins is just accountable for his mistakes as everyone else is on the team. That's the point. It is a team game. I'll give everyone that. Everyone's like, oh, it's a team game. It's a team game. It is a team game. You're right. But Kirk Cousins is responsible for the entire execution of the offense, which means I would say he's responsible about 9% of the offense, considering our running game is not effective because we don't have a running back. That's the only excuse I'll let them have is running back. However, we were averaging over 100 yards rushing a game, so that's kind of false. And we had over 100 yards rushing game last year, and they had the same excuse last year. And considering last year had 17 rushing touchdowns from our running backs. God, people don't want to go look up stats before they shoot off the mouth. People just want to talk on emotion, and I'll get off that topic. I'm just insulting other Redskins fans. Back to the video. So that's where Kirk Cousins did not do well. I mean, I'm not gonna say everything's his fault on that game, but throughout the course of the season, he has not been consistently good. 25% goes receiving core. It was wet. That's not an excuse. Dallas Cowboys ran the ball better, so they have a little bit more of a leeway when it comes to catching the ball. But you gotta be able to catch the football. You gotta catch the football. Can't blame Joel Pryor on that. Josh Dobbs had some drops. Everyone drops all around. Everyone had some drops, except for probably our tight ends. 25% goes to our special teams. There's a fumble, punt or kickoff return for a fumble, and put them in a good position to score. I mean, it didn't really kill us because our offense just couldn't score the second half. That's our problem. If our offense scores 2 touchdowns in the second half, we're in the game. But they can't. We score 10 or 13 points in the first quarter and like maybe the first 17 minutes, and we can't score or put the ball in the end zone again. I don't understand that for the life of me. That to me falls on the quarterback. But back to Jamison Crowder. I don't know what it is, buddy. You gotta be able to hang on the football. I personally just let the ball go out of the end zone. I wouldn't even risk it. I just wouldn't risk it. It's pointless. To me, it's pointless to risk those things. If that's what has to happen, then it has to happen. So just don't even return it. That's my opinion. Just don't return it. Let all punts go. Just go for the block, and if it bounces to the 1 yard, so be it. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep having turnovers like that from our special teams, and also our field goal kicking, which I don't know if that's 100% their fault or if it's the field or whatever. We still got to make a field goal. Your job is to make a field goal. And then you missed an extra point, which didn't matter, but if we scored a touchdown, it could have mattered. If we scored a touchdown, we had to kick an extra point to tie it rather than kick an extra point to go ahead. That's going to be a big deal. So that is a big deal. And then 20% goes to Jay Gruden. You do a better job of getting your quarterback to throw the ball to guys open. You got to do a better job of play management. And what I mean by that is the Redskins are on the last 22 games where you guys have played and rushed the ball for more than 25 times. You were 19-2-1. So you need to understand that you need to run the ball more. You do. And it's not so much the fact that you have to run the ball to be successful. It's a correlation between you guys controlling the clock and it's a correlation between you guys controlling the clock and us winning. When you control the clock, we win. When you rush the ball more than 25 times a game, we usually win. It's like an 89.7% win percentage. Okay? So ball X amount of times, we get 19 touchdowns. Or we win 19 times. That's the best way to put it. Okay? So need to run the ball better. And I really do want to I'm going to be fair to Kirk for 2 seconds, and I want to know what the reads are. If you're telling Kirk to take the check down every time, then that's on you. Okay? But according to what I just read on here, that's not the case. You're telling him to throw the ball to guys that are open, and Kirk won't do it. Also, what I do want to say is there's times when you call plays that I'm curious if you called it that way or guys ran it, or like for example that 3rd and 6 and the guy runs a 5-yard in route. Why don't you just change it to a 6-yard in route or a 7-yard in route? I understand you don't have 7-yard in routes. Usually they're increments of like 5 or 3 yards. Like you have a 3-yard slant, you have a 5-yard in route, you have a 10-yard in route. You don't have a 6-yard in route, but you can literally you should just be able to say to him like, hey, run it 6 yards, get a first down. Okay, I don't know if that's you or if that's Kirk or if the guy running the route. It could be all three of you. Maybe all three of you are screwing up. But some falls on you as well, Jay Gruden. You are the head coach, so you have to give a little bit of be a little bit better at that. The last thing I want to say, I was going to comment 2 groups of the team. First off, the offensive line I think did very well for being in for for being in for one game, for having like 3 days to practice and prepare. Drop back 44 times. You give it 4 sacks. Only one of them is your fault. 3 were Kirk Cousins' fault. And then you have one. Kirk scrambled on one. He got like 0 yards. He got back to the line of scrimmage. And then you also have. I don't think a running game was not going to do good anyway. Our running game's just horrible. I'm sorry. I don't think our running game's horrible. And our defense. Our defense, I thought, did very well. That team's been getting about 400 plus yards the last like 3 games, and they held the team to 30 or 300 yards. Okay, they held the team to 300 yards. And if the offense could do a better job of scoring when they have scoring positions, you were doing well in the beginning of the game. Because the reason why you're doing well at the beginning of the game is what people don't understand about football. When you get behind the other team that is losing, usually won't run the ball. They will go and pass a lot, and we have a pretty good pass defense. And they don't have great receivers. They don't. They have like Jason Witten is like probably their best. Okay, because he finds a way to get open. Hey, Des Bryant's not great. Cole Beasley's not bad, but he's not great either. So we were doing well at defending them whenever we made them a little bit more one-dimensional when they weren't running the ball as much. Whenever they got a lead or the game got back to being close, they were able to run the ball, and that's where they killed us. That's where he killed us. Our defense was doing extremely good early in the game, the first 2 quarters, at stopping the run and holding them up defensively. That all changed whenever they got a lead and they were able to run and run and run and run, especially when the weather kicked in. This is why you have to capitalize on scoring drives. Let's say our first 4 drives, we get 28 points out of it. We get 4 touchdowns. 28 to 3? Are you kidding me? Now we have the advantage. Even if we run the ball and we don't run effectively, we can still throw for it on 3rd down. We can eat up a lot of clock, and they're playing from behind and having to throw the ball in the rain. And that's what people don't understand. That's why you got to score when you have the opportunities. We don't do that. The Redskins do not score when they have the opportunities. This is where Kirk Cousins' conservativeness or his lack of ability to redeem, whatever you want to call it, that's where Kirk Cousins step up. Put your foot on their throat and drive it in the ground. That's where we don't. If our offense has as much tenacity as our defense, we'd be fine. Okay, need to grow a pair. Sorry, we need to grow a pair when it comes to our offense, and we need to grow a pair. Or our defense is fine, in my opinion. Defense was out a whole bunch of guys last week, and we were still in the game for the most part. And the defense out a bunch of guys this week, and we're still in the game. Okay, and the only reason that we lost, in my opinion, is because blocked field goal and 2 fumbles. Blocked field goal. Actually, no, I don't know what it says. Blocked field goal led to a touchdown. Kirk's fumble led to a field goal. Jamison Crowder's fumble led to a field goal. And then interception for a touchdown. That right there is 19 points. Is it? 20 points. That's 20 points right there. Credited to our offense or special teams. That is not our defense's fault. Kickoff, field goal blocked. Run back to like the 1 yard line. And then run in for a touchdown. Okay, that's 7 points. There's 7. Okay, there's 7. There we go. 7 points. Kirk Cousins, they get a field goal, so there's 10 points. Jamison Crowder fumbles, they get a field goal, there's 13 points. Interception in the game by the defense, or by Kirk Cousins for a pick 6, another 7 points. 20 points was a result of our special teams and our quarterback turnovers. So take that off of what they scored. They scored 33 points, 13 points. Our defense you could say our defense legit gave up 13 points. Okay, and I need to go watch the game film again because I'm not 100% sure if Kirk's fumble led to a touchdown or not. I don't remember that. That's something that is just lost in my mind. Even though I watched the game 3 times, that's lost in my mind. That's a possibility. Okay, so now we go against the Seahawks. Seahawks, if they play like they played last week, they're going to kill us. I think we have a better secondary, so that's going to help us. But they don't have a running game. I do think that we could win this. I think we can bounce back and win this. But that Seattle defense is tough. We're gonna be completely one-dimensional. They're gonna come get us. I don't know how we're gonna win. We probably will, because this will be a game where we're not expected to win, and we'll show up and do it because it's not expected of us. As soon as we have expectations, we suck. That's how it is. But my name is JD. Again, like, share, and subscribe, please. Also, I want to ask that understand when you're watching my videos, this is my perspective. Okay? I'm on 3 different Redskin groups. I read the chat boards. I read the chat boards. I look up stats. That is what I do. I don't just come in here and shoot off the mouth. I really don't. My opinions are backed in statistics and facts. A little bit of emotion. That's why I made the channel, because I got to get my emotions out there somehow. But I do back up my information with stats. I do back up my opinion with stats. Okay? So if you're going to comment, make sure you're commenting and you're pinpointing an exact moment. Make sure you wait till the end of the video first to comment. Don't just comment midway through. Okay? Comment with something other than your whiny opinion. Okay? And it's not me trying to be rude to you. Seriously, I've had so many people. I made videos in the past where I feel like every statistic of Kirk Cousins from the last 4 years, and someone coming through and just be like, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. I literally did all the work here, and you're just trying to troll me. Okay, that's not gonna work. I'm not giving into that crap anymore. Okay. My name is JD. Please like, share, and subscribe. This will actually be the last video I do for a while because I'm moving. I'm actually moving into freaking Steeler country. It sucks, but I got a new job, so I'm moving into that area. I'm getting a house with my girl, so it's gonna be really nice. So I'll probably have a different venue, probably my storage room, to be honest. But other than that, my name is JD. This is Redskins Rant. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Redskins Ranter. I tweet the entire game, so you'll kind of get a play-by-play of what's going on, my thoughts on it. Kirk will throw a bad pass, and you'll see me rip on him. Jay Gruden will call a bad play. I'll rip on him. That's how it works. So, name's JD. Thanks for watching. See ya.